Welcome to 5th grade math with Miss Howard. Today we're looking at how can I divide whole numbers by unit fractions. So let's review. What exactly is a unit fraction? I want you to think about it for a moment. What is a unit fraction? We've talked quite a bit about what a unit fraction is, but I just wanted to review it really quickly. So let's look at this whole right here. This whole is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal pieces. So if I were to write a fraction, I would say in my denominator, my whole is partitioned or divided into 5 equal pieces. Now we can see one of those 5 pieces is blue. So the fraction for this model is 1/5. And 1/5 is actually a unit fraction. A unit fraction is any time you have 1 in the numerator. 1 in the numerator. And what that's telling us is it's just one piece of the whole. Let's look over here to this one. If I shade in one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1/6. The unit fraction here is 1/6 because it's one piece of the whole. Shade in one right here. 1/8. Unit fraction is 1/8. There's that 1 in the numerator. And 1/10. So any unit fraction is any fraction that has a 1 in the numerator and can be pretty much any number in the denominator. So I have the problem 2 divided by 1/2. 2 divided by 1/2. Over here I wrote out some steps for us to follow to help us when we're trying to divide a whole number, take a whole number, divided by a fraction. Okay? So step 1. Step 1 says draw models to represent your whole numbers. I have 2. 1, 2. There are my 2. That's 2 wholes. 1 plus another one is 2. Now I need to divide each of those, because think about it, when we divide, we're sharing, we're breaking things up, into a half. So let's break each of those into a half. Okay. Now count how many pieces you have. We have 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces. So 2 divided by 1/2 equals 4. Now let's look down here. There are blank halves in one whole. How many halves are there in one whole? There are 2. So there are blank halves in 2 wholes. So 2 wholes together, there's going to be 4. Let's look at another one. Our question says 5 divided by 1/3. Our first step is to take my wholes and represent my 5 wholes. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have my 5 wholes. Now I need to split each of my wholes into thirds and 1/3, so thirds. Split each of them into thirds. Thirds, thirds. Okay. Each of these have been split into 1/3. Now, if there are blank thirds in one whole, how many thirds are there? Here's 1. Whoops. Okay. Here's 1/3. Here's 1/3. Here's 1/3. There are how many thirds? 1, 2, 3. 3 thirds equals 1 whole. So how many thirds are there in 5 wholes? Let's see. 1/3, 2/3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 thirds in 5 wholes. So 5 divided by 1/3 equals 15. 2 divided by 1/5. Let's start with my 2 wholes. I have my 2 wholes here. 1 whole, 2 wholes, or my 2 wholes. Each of those wholes need to be split up into fifths. Okay? 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. There are blank fifths and one whole. How many fifths are here? Each of these are 1/5. 1/5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5/5 and one whole. So in 2/5, how many are there? There are 10/5 and 2 wholes. So 2 divided by 1/5 equals 10. Let's take a look at our last example problem. This problem says 3 divided by 1/4. So these are my 3 wholes, and I'm going to take each of those wholes and I'm going to divide them into 1/4. So let's look at our 3 wholes. Here's 1, 2, 3. I drew out my 3 wholes. Each of those wholes have to be divided into 4ths. Remember the half, half again trick? That gives you 4ths very quickly. Half, half again, half, half again. Okay? So each of these represent 1/4. So there are blank 4ths in one whole. How many 4ths are there in one whole? 4 4ths in one whole. So in 3 wholes, how many 4ths are there? There are 12 4ths. So 3 divided by 1/4 equals 12. Great job.